Okay, so how do we do this question? Let's read the question first, okay? Express 484 as the product of its prime factors in index notation. Okay, that's part 1. Then part 2, hence find the square root of 484. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Okay, just hold on. All right, so let's look at this first one. Express 484 as a product. Product means what? Product means times, right? Okay, yeah, product means times or multiply. As a product, it means must times of its prime factors. So you must understand what is this prime factors. That means they are factors which are prime numbers. Okay, factors which are only prime numbers. Okay, and not only that, they must be expressed in index notation. What is index notation? That means power. For example, 2 power of 3, 2 power of 4, and so on. Okay, so it's very easy. First and foremost, we have to break down 484. Okay, and we break it down by using prime numbers, prime factors. That means only prime numbers. Okay, so 484, let's divide by 2 first. 2 is the easiest prime number, okay, or smallest prime number. So let's take 484, divide by 2. As I'm doing this, I hope that you're also doing it with your own calculator. So you'll get 2 for 2. Okay, we divide by 2 again because even number so easy, we can divide by 2. Okay, so I get 121. Oh, okay, 121, I think I can divide by 11. Okay, so if I were to divide by 11, wonderful. I will get 11 as the answer. And finally, 11 can be divided by 11, also a prime number, right? 11 is a prime number. So 11 divided by 11, I'll get 1. So in other words, 484, if I were to express as a product of its prime factors, okay, we have these 2, 2 times 2, okay, and 11 times 11, right? So I'll write it down like this. 484 is the same as 2 times 2 times 11 times 11. Okay, so now if I were to look at it, okay, 2 times 2 is actually the same in index notation. Index notation means what? I can put 2 times 2 as 2 power of 2. Okay, because it appears 2 times, right? 2 times 2, so 2 to the power of 2. And 11 will be 11. Since it appears, it must multiply twice also. So it's 11 to the power of 2 as well. Or we can call it square. 2 square times 11 square. Okay, so what you can do now is to actually use your calculator and check. Can you key this in your calculator and tell me whether you can get the same answer, which is 484. So 2 squared, I'm keying in now as I'm explaining to you. So I'm keying in 2 squared times 11 squared. Okay, let's see. Do I get 484? Yes, I'll get 484. So which means that I have already answered the first part, which is express 484 as a product. There you go. Can you see that I have multiplied? Okay, product of its prime factors. 2 is a prime number. 11 is also a prime number. And in index notation, so instead of putting 2 times 2, I put 2 squared. And instead of putting 11 times 11, I put 11 squared. So this is the answer for the first part. Okay, done. Now, what about the second one? Hence, find the square root of 484. Okay, so square root of 484, okay, means that if I square root the 484, and we know that 484 is the same as 2 squared times 11 squared, right? So if I were to square root 484, it will be the same as square root 2 squared times 11 squared. Now, how do we actually find the square root of 2 squared times 11 squared? Now, this can be actually separated. 2 squared, okay, times 11 squared. Now, this can only happen because of the product here, the times. Okay, so now, if you look at 2 squared and then square root of 2 squared, you can use your calculator. You go and check. If I were to take square root of 2 squared, I will get 2, right? So what actually happened to this 2? The square here, what happened to it? This power of 2 actually neutralized with the square root, okay? Now, this will be the same for the 11 square and then you square root. Okay, this square and this square root will neutralize each other. So you're left with only 11. So what's the final answer? Hence, find the square root of 484. And this is the answer for the square root of 484. The answer is 2 times 11, which is 22. Okay? All right. So why does this work? Why does this work? Okay, let me tell you a secret. Square root. What is the power when we talk about square root? Okay, so let's say square root of 9. What is actually the power when it comes to square root? Now, square root is actually to the power of half. Okay, square root is actually to the power of half, which is why, now we focus over here, guys. Okay, which is why when we have 2 square and square root, this is what happened. 2 square and you square root it, it is the same as 2 squared. And since I told you that a square root means power of half, is the same as doing this. So 2 times half, right? The power of 2, you divide by 2, right? 2 times half, this becomes what? 2 times half is 1, what? So 2 power of 1, answer is 2, which is the answer here. So same goes for 11. Okay, so square root, remember, square root is actually, you actually power of half. That means you divide by 2, whatever is the power. So if I were to have square root of 2 power of 8, you take the half of 8. Okay, half, right? So which is 2 power of 8, then you times the half, right? Half of 8 is what? Or 8 divided by 2 is what? Half of 8 is the same as 8 divided by 2. So you get 2 power of 4. Okay, so square root is actually you half the power, whatever is the power inside there, inside the brackets. Okay, all right, thank you.